Everybody always talks about the big stuff you should check when you're buying a house, but nobody ever talks about the little things. Let's get into these. I always recommend people check every window, make sure every single window opens and closes. Test it out if you can, like such. Because a window itself can cost anywhere from $300 to $600, potentially even more depending on the size. And then installing a window, if it has to be replaced, can cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Again, potentially even more depending on the size. And if you have to take off this nice trim and frame all around it, again, that's going to cost you even more money. So it's a little thing that can add up. Now, if you notice a little bit of condensation in the window, that usually means that the seal is broken, and that's not as big of a deal. You can usually take a window in that condition to a glass shop and they can reglaze it and fix that for a couple $100. While you're checking those windows, also check all your doors, make sure that they open and close. Oftentimes, if a door was installed incorrectly or someone tried to DIY it, it won't sit correctly in the jamb. It'll let a lot of cool air in. It'll make your house less energy efficient. And even if the door was installed correctly, many times older doorways, wooden door jambs tend to shift over time and warp a little bit, and that can cause your door to not close or open correctly, like this one right here. See, it opens, but then when we go to close it, it's very hard to close. We have to shove it to really get it to shut. Another big one is cell phone reception. Oftentimes people don't realize until they've already moved in that they don't have great cell phone reception. And this is especially problematic if you work from home. So while you're walking the house, go into different areas, check the bars on your phone, maybe make a few calls. Hey babe, I'm looking at this house. I love it. We should buy it, and go from there. And just because you don't have good service doesn't mean that you should walk from the house. It just means there might be a better provider for this area. And perhaps you should talk to the people that live here so that you know who the best utility providers are. And the last thing, guys, check your exterior doorway widths. I know this sounds a little bit meticulous, but hear me out. Because as you start to move into the home, you're probably going to be bringing in large appliances, furniture, all kinds of large items, and you want to make sure they can actually fit through your doorway. Now, most doorways I've noticed are usually around 36 inches, which is more than enough room to bring in large items, even refrigerators, things like that. But sometimes you'll see some doorways that are even smaller than that. This one here, I believe, is about 32 inches. And even with 32, you can bring in most things you can get by with appliances. I believe dishwashers and washing machines are usually around 30 inches, so you should be fine in that regard. But if it's any smaller, you definitely want to address that, because now you're going to have a really hard time bringing those items in, especially if you don't have another means, if you don't have a bulkhead or something like that. And also, you may have to entirely reframe the doorway, which could get very costly. Everyone always talks about the big stuff, the roof, the furnace, the HVAC system, the plumbing, the electrical, but these are the little things that oftentimes you don't realize until you're already in too deep. So I hope this was helpful. Be on the lookout for the